typically associate comic books with superheroes like the Justice League or the Avengers. These are Marvel and DC characters, and for many years, these two companies ruled the comic book market. The popularity can be attributed to the change in the landscape brought on by TV, movies, and video games, as well as the coolness of action in comics from the 1960s to the mid-1990s. But what most don't know are the comics of The Walking Dead, Invincible, Kingsman, Wanted, Kick-Ass, Witchblade, and Spawn. Some people are unaware that they are in the pages of the comic book portfolio of the company that revolutionized the comics business, the Image of Comics. I am reading graphic novels digitally thanks to the pandemic lockdown. I was influenced by my friend to buy something to read and get recommendations. Because of the Marvel and DC movies, I wanted to take a vacation from superheroes and I didn't want to read about them in comic books. So I was pulled into the likes of Chew, Die, Ice Cream Man, Philadelphia, Oblivion Song, Summoner's War Legacy, and the Department of Truth. I enjoy reading them. Then I discovered that Emilia Clarke, who plays Daenerys Targaryen, has her own comics, so I bought them as well. Then my nostalgia kicked in when I saw King Spawn and completed my first purchase of digital comics. And these are all published by Image Comics. This motivated me to quickly scan a few of the Image book covers, and they all seem intriguing. From what I remember of Image Comics as a very young kid, I've seen that they've undergone a significant transition. So I made the decision to start a YouTube series about the history of Image Comics as a passion project. This is ReallyCool-i. Image 1992. I is for Inception. This is the year when Image started. The first series of books can be summarized as the comics created by the Image founding partners and the first comic books of Extreme Studios, which is led by the creator of the first Image comics. The comic series created in 1992 are Youngblood, created by founding partner Rob Liefeld, who was well known for his shattering sales records for X-Force back when he worked for Marvel. Spawn, created by founding partner Todd McFarlane, who also created Venom and who has worked on Spider-Man. The Savage Dragon, created by founding partner Eric Larson, who took over Spider-Man and Venom from Todd McFarlane and was widely lauded and sales were strong. Wildcats covered action themes, created by founding partner Jim Lee, the artist of the best-selling comic book of all time, X-Men #1. Shadowhawk, created by founding partner Jim Valentino, who was the first writer and artist of Guardians of the Galaxy. Cyberforce, created by founding partner Mark Silvestri, the illustrator of the well-known and successful X-Men spin-off Wolverine. Brigade, created by Extreme Studios' Eric Stephenson, Marat Michaels, and Rob Liefeld. Later, Eric Stephenson would go on to win an Eisner Award and serve as Image Chief Publisher. And Supreme by Extreme Studios' Rob Liefeld and Brian Murray. Times have certainly changed when compared to 1992 and Image contemporary comics. Today's Image still publishes superhero comics like Radiant Black, But it also offers a variety of genres like comedy, fantasy, mystery, adventure, and sci-fi. Label it, today's image already has it. The image of 1992 is one-dimensional. Early 1990s comics emphasized the coolness of superheroes. Before founding Image, the founders were well-known figures in comic books. Superhero fans predominated the comic book readership at the time, and these creators were considered superstars. So it's no wonder why Image started doing comics in the superhero genre at its inception. The first ever comic from Image is Youngblood. The first issue sold 1.5 million copies. By the time, it was the highest selling comic book that was neither published by Marvel nor DC. In Youngblood, two government-created superhero teams that are recognized as celebrities, much like actors and athletes, fight crime and evil while juggling the demands of celebrity life. 1992 saw the release of 3 issues of Youngblood as well as issue number 0. These issues include the introduction of 2 Youngblood teams, The Hunt for Profit, and a tribute to Jack Kirby, widely recognized as one of the most innovative and significant comics authors ever. The 2 Youngblood teams are analogous to sports teams being watched by fans. The Youngblood home team is the team that handles missions inside the country, while the Youngblood away team is assigned to foreign operations. It is symbolic that issue number 1 has been used as a reference several times in future comics by other creators. Spawn is the second comic from Image, and its first issue sold 2 million. It breaks all records for independent comics. Todd McFarlane was a top artist in comics at the time, and with his desire to deliver the best material in his new independent comic, he brought in the best digital colorist, Steve Olive, and the best letterer, Tom Orzechowski. Spawn is about a soldier who died, made a deal with the devil, and was given power, but suddenly uses it to become the pseudo-protector of New York City, fighting against heaven and hell alike. 6 issues of Spawn were published in 1992. Those issues show Spawn arriving on Earth with obscure recollections of his past, occasionally experiencing painful flashbacks and eventually remembering his deal with the devil Malbolgia. Spawn goes on pseudo-protector escapades, taking down organized crime in New York City. In between beating mobsters and eventually killing a serial murderer and pedophile Billy Kincaid, Spawn discovered his new life, and in the 6th issue, he ended up holding guns, reminiscing about his soldier past to fight Overkill, a character created by Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld. Spawn series is a well-known comic book series that continues to be popular not just in comics, but also today's culture. Spawn is one of Image aces in the realm of animated films, toys, and video games. It also has the Guinness World Record of the longest independent comic book of all time. The Savage Dragon is the 3rd comic series from Image, and its first issue sold over 500,000. It is about an amnesiac, large fiend green humanoid with super strength and advanced healing factors, and unexpectedly turns into a super cop, battling terrorists and criminals in the city. The miniseries' 3 issues were all finished in 1992. A new series was created the following year as a result of its popularity. The miniseries describes how Savage Dragon became a cop, his first missions fighting against super freaks led by Overlord, and his encounter with Super Patriot, a superhero with cybernetic enhancements. Youngblood and Spawn made cameos toward the end of the Savage Dragon miniseries. The tale of Savage Dragon is still being told in the pages of Image comic books today, along with the Spawn series. Savage Dragon got adapted later on into an animated series. Wildcats Covert Action Teams is the fourth comic series from Image, and its first issue sold over 1 million copies. With Jim Lee, known as a top artist, he brought in his friends known for their talents. Brandon Choi for scripts, and his inker for the top-selling X-Men, Scott Williams. It is about a team of individuals with the blood of a humanoid alien race having exceptional powers and skills fighting against another warring alien race. 2 issues were published in 1992. These issues show the formation of the Covert Action Team and the hunt for the dancer in a strip club named Voodoo. She is a gifted one with the power of sight who can see their enemy demonites in their natural form, and furthermore, exorcise them from their human hosts. Using his power while watching the news, she discovers a demonite warlord has taken control of the vice president. The series ended with Youngblood determined to protect the life of the man they believe to be the vice president against Wildcats. The second issue of Wildcats contained the short story from Image founder Will Sportacio's Wetworks. This would become a 43-issue comic series later on. Wildcats Covert Action Teams was the first comic book series that would later form the Wildstorm universe. It became so popular and a top-selling comic from Image in its early years that it was adapted into an animated series. Shadowhawk is the 5th comic series from Image, and its first issue sold over 34 of 1 million copies. Shadowhawk is about a vigilante donning on an exoskeleton suit of helmet and armor, catching violent criminals in the act and breaking their spines rather than bringing to police, so they are paralyzed even if they leave prison, garnering a reputation as an urban legend, being hunted by both criminals and police alike. 3 issues of Shadowhawk were published in 1992. The Shadowhawk style of narration is in the second-person point of view, leaving the reader with some mystery about who is Shadowhawk among the characters being shown in the story. The action started with Shadowhawk attacking hoodlums and breaking some spines, leading to some questions from the police about who this vigilante is. Spawn made an appearance in the second issue, meeting up with Shadowhawk as the latter was pursuing arson. The third issue ended with the police captain's decision to call in Savage Dragon to deal with the vigilante. Shadowhawk's impact led to the creation of an Image fan creating a comic book named The Last Shadowhawk 30 years later. Cyberforce is the first comic book by Mark Silvestri for Image and debuted with 500,000. Cyberforce, as described by Mark Silvestri, is like the X-Men, but instead of just inherent mutant power, cybernetics is the one giving them the major ability to be superheroes. Cyberforce is about a team of mutants enhanced by cybernetic implants banded together, determined to defeat the dangerous cyborgs and other threats taking over the world. The first issue started with a famous artwork of Teenage Mutant Velocity and relates the tale of how she came to join Cyberforce. Together with Wildcats, Cyberforce was created at Homage Studios, where founding partners Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri were working at the time. Before Mark Silvestri subsequently made the decision to found his own studio, both comic book series would become smash sellers. 30 years later, a commemorative issue of the inaugural issue of Cyberforce was produced, and a successful Kickstarter effort demonstrates the continued popularity of the franchise. Brigade is the first spin-off comic of Youngblood and the debut series of Rob Liefeld's imprint Extreme Studios. It is about a privately funded team of vigilantes not sanctioned by the government, unlike Youngblood. Rob Liefeld did not take a major role here compared to Youngblood to showcase the new talents he managed in Extreme Studios. This is to have a distinction that Youngblood is his major work, while Brigade is the work of his Extreme Studios talents. 2 issues were published in 1992. These issues tell the Brigade's first action encounter against an alien named Genocide. With Youngblood nowhere to be seen, ex-Youngblood Battlestone, leader of the Brigade, decides he and his team should take action. Brigade vanished in a flash of light at the end of the 2nd issue and appeared in an arena on Genocide's homeworld. Brigade also contains a short story about the superheroine created by Eric Stephenson, Infinity. Brigade is the IP of Rob Liefeld that he still owns today and is celebrated 30 years later by creating its remastered version. Supreme is the last comic introduced in 1992. It is about a violent version of Superman. Rob Liefeld's Supreme is about a character of great power who is driven to wield it selfishly, placing more value on his ego than his honor. The first issue shows the arrival of Supreme on Earth after the interception of Youngblood home team in orbit, whom he easily fends off. The issue ended with Youngblood away team and another superpowered team, Heavy Metal, wanting to recruit Supreme. Supreme's ego tells he is a one super team. Supreme would become an important series, prompting award-winning writers to contribute to it later on, such as Alan Moore. The impact of the 1992 image in history is attributable to discouraging Marvel and DC's emphasis on their creative talent, and above all, the popularity of Image prompted the power of creator-owned titles to transform them into adaptations and merchandise. Even though they are criticized for putting more style and less substance into their work, Youngblood, Spawn, The Savage Dragon, Wildcats, Shadowhawk, Cyberforce, Brigade, and Supreme represent the dramatic prosperity of not only creator-owned comic superheroes, but also creator-owned comics in general. And before I end, here are the recommended digital reads, and they are available for purchase via Amazon Kindle and Google Play. Issues 1 to 6 of Spawn, Cyberforce 30th Anniversary Commemorative Edition. Via Kindle only. The Savage Dragon, Baptism of Fire. Issues 1 and 2 of Wildcats Covert Action Team's DC version. And that is Image 1992. What do you guys think? Let me hear your comments. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share this video, and watch other videos from this channel. Next up, Image 1993.